Okay, so this is just an update video on December the 30th, 2023. If any of you have been following the channel, you might remember that on August the 17th, I took a photograph of myself in the mirror shirtless. It was embarrassing, okay, but I didn't mind putting that out there for the world to see. 241 pounds, 31% body fat, completely out of shape, not very strong at all. And I set out kind of an experiment, but you know, I'm an old athlete and I've done a lot of different kinds of sports. I've been in shape, I've been out of shape. And what I wanted to do was kind of an experiment and show you guys what an old guy like me, a 60-year-old, can do in 1 year. Well, the first 3 months I got radical results, and I've shown them in an earlier video, but we'll just kind of recap them in this video. But I wanted to give you an update. Now, because I used to be a judo player and I used to take some really hard hits and I was very competitive. And by the way, there's a certificate right here, and I'll show that to you here in a minute, that shows that I was a competitive judo player. I was a intramural judo player in university when I was in college, okay? And I took a lot of hits and a lot of pounding, and to this day, I have a left hip gluteus area that has a tendency from time to time to have a muscle spasm. Fortunately for me, it's not in the joint. I don't have any arthritis there, so we're not talking about any kind of a hip replacement. But when I have a muscle spasm in that area, it can be a real ordeal. It'll last for anywhere between 8 to 10, 12 days, something like that. I have to take muscle relaxers. I don't feel like working out. It's very uncomfortable to drive. It becomes very, very sore, and just my motivation goes down. Well, this happened to me in mid-December, and it's been a very big setback because I'm an old guy. I was out of shape. I gave myself a 1-year wick, okay, where I was going to show you guys. I still intend to show you guys this, okay, but I'm just saying it's a setback because once the muscle spasm set in, I haven't worked out one time, so I've gone about 10 days without a workout. But not only that, I've lost some of my gains in terms of my leanness, okay? I'm not burning enough calories. I eat a lot of food, and I haven't really been worrying about the calorie intake while I've been kind of on the injured reserve list, okay? So with that, let me go ahead and show you some of the details of the progress that I've made, and I think it's quite stunning. But I also say this, when I listen to these so-called science experts on the internet, people like Jeff Cavaliere, people like Dr. Mike of Renaissance Periodization, and people like that, I don't believe much of what they say, and they tend to throw out all these limitations that people have. I've seen both of them make up videos about what can you expect when you're this age, what can you expect when you're this age, what can you expect when you're this age. Well, none of those guys have ever been 60 years old, okay, and none of those guys have ever met me. Okay, and you know, years ago, you may know the story, before the 4-minute mile was ever run, people used to say that it was impossible to run a 4-minute mile. Then when the first guy finally ran the 4-minute mile, there were hundreds of people in the next 2 years that ran 4-minute miles. It's a mental thing, okay? So I'm telling you, when you see the level of gains, the level of fitness results that I'm going to show you, the kind of percentages that I'm going to show you and document, if they say, oh, that's crazy, that's impossible, well, they're the ones that are full of shit, okay? Not me, because I'm just an old guy just documenting this and showing you along the way. I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm a businessman, okay? I have more than one undergraduate degree. I have a graduate degree. I've been in business all my life. For me, this is just a hobby, okay? And I jumped into this fitness matrix online because I was a little bit bored, and I thought I would just check out and see what people were saying, you know. And I see that there's just a lot of nonsense in all these influencers and things like that, and the limitations that they talk about, like how much muscle you can gain in a certain amount of time. I'll shatter all those records, okay? I will shatter those records, and I'm just a novice. I'm not a professional. So with that, just hang with me for a minute and let me show you some examples and some proof. So what I'm showing you here is a photograph of me August the 17th, 2023. Now, I am not proud of this. As a matter of fact, it's not embarrassing, and I'll tell you why it's not embarrassing. It would be embarrassing if this was me and I didn't have a solution, and I didn't have the kind of soul and spirit that would look at this and say, fuck this, okay, and then do something about it, and then mean it and do it and know how to do it and get results, okay? So this picture right here is just I don't know, it's probably about 5 weeks later. It's the same kind of look, but with a shirt on. Now, I actually have a little bit of results here, but you would never know it because it's only been about 5 weeks and I'm wearing a shirt. You see that I've shaved my head at this point. And guys, I'm going to recommend, if you're old like me and your hair is turning gray and it's kind of thin and it doesn't look like, you know, a young man's hair anymore, go ahead and shave. I mean, our old gray thinning hair is just not a good look for us. I'm going to show you a few different looks because I only shave my head about, I don't know, once a month or something like that, and it starts to grow back. And the best look I have is when it's completely shaved. But here's another picture of me. This is 90 days after I started. This is around, let's see, September, October, November. This is around mid-October. I've gotten a massive amount of gains. Now, still, I'm not saying that I look super ripped or anything like that. I would say that I look athletic. I think if I showed up for one of these backyard brawls, you know, like these boxing brawls that people do on YouTube, and if I showed up looking like this, I don't think anybody would doubt that I'm serious, okay? But yet, I'm still have some weight to lose and things like that. Still would like to put on some muscle, like to add some more bulk to my legs, okay, at this point. Here's a picture of me recently. This was early December with clothes on. I think sometimes clothes just gives you a way to kind of scale something. You can see I'm a big guy. This is 240 pounds, 6'2", 240. Okay, so I'm not a small guy. This is a 90-day result from my around sometime in mid-September to sometime in early December. You can see quite a transformation. Now, guys, I don't know anything about like how to do anything with technology or anything like that to try to change, enhance anything like this. I don't know how to use lighting or anything. I just am kind of an average guy, 60 years old, and I'm just taking photos, and you can see that there's a dramatic change in 90 days. You very seldom, if ever, have you ever seen a person get this kind of results in 90 days. My point in saying all that is, guys, I'm better than anybody out there like Jeff Cavaliere or Dr. Mike, or guys, I'll put my knowledge from my years of being an athlete up against any of these people's what they say, okay? I know what I'm doing. That's why I started on this journey showing you my fat pictures, my out of shape pictures, my obese pictures. And I've had this setback. It's not going to stop me. I still have a very, very strong mind, strong will. Here's a picture of me 2 or 3 weeks ago before I had the glute injury. You can see that I'm a muscular guy, but you can see on the left just about 3 months ago, I really was like a roly-poly, just soft, okay? That's 90 days difference right there, guys. And I haven't gotten into how I work out yet and why I can get these kind of results in such a short time, because it's going to take a while to unpack, but I'll just give you a little bit of a hint. A lot of what I'm going to show you is that you have to include athletics into your strength training, okay? And I'm talking about things like hitting tennis balls or boxing on a boxing bag or time on a mountain bike, a treadmill, a spinning class, you know, swimming in a swimming pool. Do that in addition to strength training. See all these guys out there like Mark Rippetoe, who's an absolute broken down disaster at this point. He's only a few years older than me. He's 65, I'm 60. Okay, and you see that his body's all broken down. It's because powerlifting is not a long-term plan, guys. It's not a long-term plan. I'm going to teach on this channel what a true long-term plan is, okay? Now here's a picture of me, I don't know, sometime in early December. You can see I got a big chest. It wasn't big like that 4 months ago, guys. It wasn't like that, okay? You can see I have a big guy. Again, there's the bald head. I'm a big fan of shaving your head if you don't have a good head of hair at this time, guys. Here's another picture of me. The other one didn't really show that I had much in the biceps, but I'll tell you, just to be clear, I measured the other day. I was 15.75 inches on the bicep. That was without being pumped. I don't know if it would change any if I was pumped. Now, I realize that's not a huge bicep, but it's also not small. That's just where I am. Now, I haven't been a lifetime weightlifter or power lifter, somebody that tries to get big muscles, okay? So this is all kind of new for me. I'm kind of okay with 15.75 inches, and I really don't know where I'll end up because honestly, I don't think I've ever had biceps much bigger than that. That's kind of how I've rolled around my life, and either that or smaller. Okay, here's a picture of my legs. Now, I realize these are not like bodybuilder legs, but you can see I've got some bulk to the legs. Then here's me again with some clothes on just to give you some scale. And I wanted to show you this because this is a graph that I'm going to use. It's a common thing you can find on the internet that shows fat percentages. And I didn't do anything real scientific. I just used this. And I was very honest in it because I don't have anything to prove. And using this scale, I came up with these numbers, okay? In a 113-day result, I started 241 pounds, 31% body fat on August the 16th, 2023. Then, just about a month later, I estimate that I was 26% body fat. That's an amazing difference. Those are some great gains. And I had gone down to 234 pounds. Now, by the time I hit around 90 days, I was 19% body fat, 229 pounds. Now, from there, I went on a just massive bulk for a while. I didn't really care what my calorie intake was. I'm sure it was over 4,000 calories, and I gained 14 pounds, okay? 14 pounds in, what's that? Is that like 5 weeks? 14 pounds in 5 weeks, so almost 3 pounds a week. And I estimate that my body fat percentage went from 19 to 21. Now, if you look at the picture here, I'm not that much fatter, but I'm noticeably a little bit fatter. You can see that some of the ab definition that I had, which was not great, but there was some ab definition. Some of that softened up. I can see a little more thickness right in the front of my belly. I still have the kind of indentions on my sides. Okay, I still have some pretty good chest definition. I've lost the man boobs. Okay, but this isn't where I want to be, guys. This was just during a bulk. Now, shortly after this bulk is when I hurt my glutea, and so I haven't been taking any photos because I haven't gotten much accomplished since this December 7th photo. And this is a big setback for me because it means I'm going to lose probably over 1 month out of my 12-month goal. Now, again, I'm showing you these body fat percentages. You can click back and forth if you want and see if I'm being honest or see if you agree with me. It doesn't make too much difference. I'm sure that if you look at these, you'll see that if I'm wrong, I'm not far off. Here's another picture of me. I just wanted to show you kind of a side-by-side at 3 points during this journey, which has only been just about 4.5 months. Okay, so in August, I was 241 pounds, okay? And then in November, I was 234. And then in December, I was 240, okay? Now, from the November 4th to the December 2nd, I had started eating 4,000 calories a day. Prior to that, I was around 2,800 calories. That's right. I was eating 2,800 calories while I was slimming down from 241 to 229. Now, I wanted to show you, this is just some scale, and I'm comparing myself against next to Mark Rippetoe, who is, I guess he's maybe what you might call famous in the world of powerlifting. I think he was some kind of champion, and he's written this book, Starting Strength, which I wasted money on and have a copy of. Not worth wiping your ass on as far as I'm concerned. I started reading it, but I disagree with so much of his principles. And I'm saying this because if you look at Mark and I side by side, we're both in our 60s. I think he's about 5 years older than me. You can see he's absolutely on a downward spiral. Okay, he's in terrible shape. He's got man boobs. His belly is big. He's going nowhere in the world of fitness. And you see me, okay, I've got 2 photos of me. You see me going from obese to athletic and on my way to becoming very, very fit. By the way, I've really considered these ideas of becoming shredded and ripped, and I've decided that's not for me. I don't want that. I don't like that look. I don't like the way it feels when I start to lose a lot of body fat. I don't feel strong. I think that my right lane where I need to be is somewhere between 12 to 15% body fat. I think that's right for me, okay? But you look at Mark Rippetoe, I don't know. I would say he's in the upper 30s, 38, 39, 40% body fat. He's not strong anymore. He's got sloping shoulders, and he looks very, very bad, okay? I want to show you another picture. Here's me next to Mike Mentzer, okay? Now, this picture of Mike, he's in his early 40s, okay? I'm 60. He's in his 40s. He's almost young enough to be my son. Well, he could be my son. If I had sired a boy at the age of 18, which an 18-year-old is capable of doing, then this would be a father and son photo. You can see that Mike was a old man degenerating on his way down, on his way to a fatal heart attack, which he had just a few years later. And you can see that I am much more youthful, much stronger. The point I'm making, guys, is that these bodybuilders will lead you to an early grave. They don't know how to make you healthy. They call it the health and fitness community. It's not health and fitness, guys. When it's just bodybuilding and powerlifting for the sake of getting muscle on top of muscles, you end up like Mark Rippetoe and Mike Mentzer, okay? Here's another picture of me and Mark Rippetoe next to each other. I've got one of me without a shirt. I got one of me with a shirt. And I've got Mark Rippetoe, who would probably never take his shirt off at this point. You'll probably never catch Mark Rippetoe taking off his shirt and giving you a photograph of himself. Okay, and my point is, the guy, he and I are, we're the same generation. We would have gone to elementary school about the same time. And you see, I'm not a professional athlete. I'm a businessman. And yet, I'm still athletic. I'm gaining. I'm getting better. I'm getting stronger. I'm setting goals. I expect to be in some of the best shape of my life by the time I'm his age, around 65. Here's just one more look at that.